Run like I don't got an estate. Yeah. Run it up. Yeah.
Welcome once again to the box score, folks. We appreciate everything that you guys have been doing over the course of the last couple of weeks. Everybody liking, subscribing, and hitting the notification bell as well. You can check us out on YouTube, Instagram, and even on Twitter as well. So, anything you would like to add, my friend Ajay? We have a new guest.
Summed it up pretty, yeah.
He isn't a salesman, but he is a breadman. Right? So without further ado, we can get straight into the thick of things here. A lot has been said about Ruben Dias and what he's brought to the table at Man City. Man City has been transformed defensively. However, a lot of comparisons have been made with Virgil van Dijk. How would you say that his impact at City has been mirrored to Virgil van Dijk's impact at Liverpool when they first signed Virgil van Dijk? What you think about that there, Marley?
That's a tricky one. I think in a lot of ways, yes, it's mirrored it in a lot of ways. In terms of Liverpool being very, very shaky defensively before, and Van Dijk coming in almost single-handedly. You'd be tempted to think that he single-handedly transformed the defense, even though I stand corrected, but I'm pretty sure Alisson was bought in the same window. No?
The summer after. January, Alisson was summer. Yeah.
Yeah, the January. So that also helped him as well. But you can't take much away from Virgil. When Virgil came in, he was transformative for that defense. That Liverpool defense was shambolic before then. You can say what you like about the keepers behind him, yeah, but it was a very, very poor defense, and he instantly improved it. Almost like a different side altogether. I remember actually just saying back and going, wow, there's no way that one person coming into a backline could make a backline look that different. To be very honest, and Ruben Dias has had a very, very similar effect. Notwithstanding, as we would have mentioned a couple of points before on the show as well, that you did have a City defense that wasn't bad either. You got some good players in there. So I mean, if you were to twist my arm for an answer, I would still slightly lean towards Virgil. To be very fair, I still think Virgil had a more telling impact on the backline and on the side overall. Ruben Dias has came in and he's done well, take nothing away from him. But I still think that Virgil van Dijk's addition to that Liverpool side was well than Ruben Dias's at this point.
Breadman, you agree with Marty? What you think on this, being the resident Liverpool guy here?
I will have to side with Marley with this one, but I would just give a little more input on the topic. It's easy to see when a player is doing, I would say, substantially well in a very poor team than a player like Diaz who is doing well in such a, I would say, complete unit. City were lacking that one piece of the puzzle when Company was their main defender. But the problem with Company was always injured. So when Company was missing, it always looked like if City missed something. Whenever Company came back, you could see the impact that Company had. After Company's retirement, they had Laporte. Laporte was doing a very good job, but he had his injury battles. So the money that City spent in defense, they were still missing one important part, a fit central defender that was doing the job. And Diaz came in and he has done an admirable job at this point in time. And some might say he's not done as much as Van Dijk because City were always at a high level for the past, I would say, 5 seasons, even more. So it's easier to say that Van Dijk did better, but I would say that Van Dijk's impact was greater because Liverpool went from finishing, I would say, being an average team to being challengers. And it comes down to the fact that they got the defender, then they got the keeper. So Van Dijk made an impact and his impact was seen because the frailty that the club had. And at this moment, he's missing now, and you're still seeing the effect of his absence at this point in time. But I would say that Van Dijk's impact was bigger than Diaz because of the status of the two clubs at the point in time when both players came in.
To be quite honest, I think all of those are fair points. It's hard to go against that. However, I would side with Ruben Dias here, and just slightly because the numbers suggest that they're mirroring images of each other. When Virgil van Dijk was first signed, the leaking goals for Liverpool shrunk immensely, like a 50% drop. But that is the same for Man City as well. So they signed Ruben Dias. So for me, it's been more, when I look at the two, Virgil came from Southampton and Ruben Dias came from Benfica. And I think it was most people will look at that transition as more difficult considering he moved in a different country. Coming into the Premier League has always been challenging for outside European players, especially the fact that he's hit the ground running so well. And I feel as though that impact has thrusted Man City to be in a consistent unit this season. They've been better than they've ever been as a defensive unit throughout the time Pep Guardiola has been there. So I tend to lean slightly to Ruben Dias in that regard. Like you guys said, you know, it's easy to look at a team that is so expansive like Manchester City and just look at the frailties in the squad. But defensively, they've struggled for the most part. They've leaked a lot of goals in the past. So I feel Ruben Dias has shown a lot of leadership.
But Doms, allow me to interject here.
Yeah, go ahead,
I
sir.
try to ram home a point, right? If Ruben Dias were to go down right now, we had this argument. I think it was me and Ajay against you before. If Ruben Dias were to go down right now, yeah, Emirates Laporte alongside the John Stones, yeah, it would not be as good a central defensive pair. Yes, they would leak more goals because remember last year, I do agree with you. Last year, City were leaking, but would that defense automatically decline? Like how we've seen Liverpool's defense decline to almost like what championship proportion?
But when you look at Liverpool's defense, they've had a set of injuries. It just hasn't been Virgil van Dijk. You also got the case with Alisson, his father as well, and Joe Gomez going out for the rest of the season. So it's been challenging from Liverpool in terms of that centre pairing. And Joe Matip, I can't remember the last time I saw that lad. So I mean,
for the season.
Yeah.
You're looking at the entire back line has gone to riddance here. I'm looking at the two players in isolation and I'm saying, well, Ruben Dias slightly for me. AJ, what you think?
So for me, at this very point, they're exactly the same, in my opinion. It's exactly the same because, and as the guys already pointed out before, like the defensive frailties of the teams before these respective defenders joined the team. Now, I've heard the argument about the Champions League element before, and Marley pointed out, they signed, Liverpool signed Van Dijk in January. They lost that Champions League. Then the next key piece they signed to win the Champions League next year, and of course, Van Dijk was an integral part of that, but they signed Alisson in the summer, and that's what put them over the top, right? At this point, City look a lot more assured in defense, and given the fact that the Champions League is still ongoing, it is still currently in progress, at this point, they're exactly the same to me because City are the champions elect, and that is not solely down to Diaz, but he was a major, obviously, I can't say that. Yeah, I can't say that after my guy Gundogan been winning Player of the Month for January and they're running for February, so I can't.
But bear this in mind too, and I can interject you, right? Liverpool front three have always come in for the most glamorous adulation. When you look at their scoring goals in bucket loads coming from Salah, Mane, they've done really well. So we're talking about how expansive City has been, but we're not looking at how expansive Liverpool has been as well. So I think that has contributed to their success. So, like you said, a mirroring image of each other.
Yeah. So to me, they're mirror. There is exactly the same effect at this point. That's to me. Because City about to win the league. I don't think anybody would debate that at this point. And it's as Breadman pointed out too, is the same effect that Van Dijk had. So there's nothing to choose between the two for me. Is at the time of recording this, they're exactly the same. They are exactly the same. Same effect.
Well, I just think my point will come into effect a bit later because everybody know I talk a bit biased, being a Madrid supporter and so on. But sitting here in the Champions League,
Admittance is the first step. Admittance is the first step.
Well, see, the thing is about it, we have this recorded. I'm glad you said that. I'm absolutely glad you said that. And Real Madrid will win it, right, sir?
Yeah, but I get bothered on there.
I mean, that's what the guy's supposed to say. That's what he's supposed to say, you know?
Yeah. As a supporter of your club, you must go that route. However, since we're on the topic of Liverpool, right? Steven Gerrard, former Liverpool player, legend at the club. He's done something really well at Glasgow Rangers. How would you rate his success from 1 to 10, Breadman? And what's next for him in terms of managerial progress? What do you see for him? Will he stay with Rangers another year, go to another club? What is in store?
Well, from 1 to 10, you have to rate him on what he's doing. So for the work he's done at Rangers, for the time that he's been there, I would give him a 8.5. And the 1.5 that he left out comes down to European football.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
But to come into a club which they didn't win the league in 10 years, if I'm not mistaken. 10 years. Celtic were the dominant force. Rangers would have been demoted. They can't work up. They had their struggles. Gerrard came in the season of 2018, 19, and he tried to put his mark on the club straight away. His style of play was mirrored into his style of management when you first watch Rangers. And over the seasons, you will have seen the gradual decline in the goals that the club were conceding. If you look at this season, Celtic are still unbeaten in league and European football. So after winning the title this season, for Gerrard, I wouldn't sign a new contract at Celtic, but I won't jump to a big club right now. I don't think he should follow the same path as Lampard. I personally felt that Lampard should have stayed at Derby another season. So for me, I think Gerrard's best bet would be to go to a mid-table team and say like Germany or even one of the top 4 in Netherlands, but don't jump to a big job in England because as you can see right now, everyone is tweeting him to replace Klopp. I don't want that. I don't think Gerrard wants that himself. Well, not at this present moment, but I think Gerrard has done a commendable job, and only time will tell what this would be for his future come the end of the season.
So as you know, Gerrard is being linked to Liverpool right now, obviously due to the fact that Klopp has lost 6 at home. It looked like two meteors colliding. You feel as though he will take that job, or will he resist the temptation and just decide, well, you know what, this is not the time?
If he's being honest with himself, he won't take it. But I know deep down he wants to manage Liverpool one day, but I don't think he would take it right now. He has come out in the past and said that he has said that he doesn't want the job at the moment because the club are in such a good way. They have a good manager, a good team, and he doesn't think he's ready for that job at the moment. So if he sticks to his words, I don't see him in the Liverpool dugout come next season.
I think that's fair. Well, personally, from me, I rate what Gerrard has done as a 10, to be quite honest. I think considering that The team was admitted into administration in 2012. They had to come up from 4 tiers below in the Scottish Premier League. That's immense when you're looking at a struggle a team has to go through as a club to get back to the top tier and presently winning the league. Celtic did the dog. They were 9-time champions. Like you said, and I can piggyback on that. Every year you could, from the time Gerrard was hired, you could see notable progress in how much goals they conceded from 27 to 19 to 9 this season. Still undefeated. And like you said, a lot about Europa League. They're doing well in that regard. Coming up against the Czech champions, Slavia. They will do well to ease past that competition and go to the semi-finals. We'll see about that. However, in terms of what he can do and going forward, something that I've seen in the past is that managers leaving the Scottish Premier League have gone to the Championship. Neil Lennon went to Bolton after he won 3 titles with Celtic. Ronnie Delia went to a team in Norway. So there's not been notable big jobs offered to Scottish champions managers, right? I feel as though they're underappreciated to some degree. So I feel as though it's pump the brakes here, Gerrard. Is no need to go to Liverpool at this stage. We can go to a club, like you said, in Germany, like a Leipzig if Nagelsmann moves on, or go to Leverkusen, gain some experience, continue to climb that table, and eventually that job will fall on you lap. Don't take your time. I'm saying take your time, because at the end of the day, the Liverpool job will be yours at some stage. There's no need to rush it. So from that standpoint, he's doing a phenomenal job. He's done well for Rangers. I'm happy for that, because I support Rangers in the Scottish League. But you pump the brakes, Gerrard. Pump the brakes. You don't want to end up a statistic like Lampard. You do not want that.
Well, not just Lampard. I think all the guys of his generation who stepped into management.
Yeah.
All right. Hold on.
Before you go, Jay, I just want to also mention that former players, when you look at Gattuso, Lampard, Inzaghi, when they've been to their iconic clubs, they haven't done particularly well, and they've been ushered out of management immediately. So Gerrard does not want to be part of that statistics. He wants to be one that thrives in that club.
Cat luck and dog luck. Since y'all wax very poetically about why he shouldn't take it and all sort of thing and all this waiting thing, as if Gerrard know if the opportunity is going to be there in 3 years. Listen to me, right? First of all, okay, let me go back a little bit. First, I rate what Gerrard did. Out of 1 to 10, what Gerrard did is a character in Stranger Things. As an 11 out of 10. Yes, he exceeded expectations for me. Because
you had to go above me, right? You had to go above me.
I really had this plan before. This ain't got nothing to do with you. Don't get too ahead of yourself. Don't get too ahead of yourself. Listen, the fact is, Rangers haven't won the league in 10 years, right? So y'all, I think Breadman was who mentioned the fact that they went into administration and went down to lower tier. The initial Rangers club was actually liquidated, and then he started a new club, right? Now, at this point, I'm not going to get too excited about the unbeaten record, because after you actually win the league is when when you need to have the mental fortitude to be able to stay unbeaten. So before I actually give them credit on having an invincible season, they actually need to complete it. Because the fact of the matter is they're still in Europa and all that kind of thing, right? So if they could avoid that hangover and, then, all right, cool. And yeah, they still have an old firm derby to play at Celtic Park and all that. But the thing is, I think that he should be considered for the pool job. I'm sorry, Brett. I have to say it. Someone has to say it. He should be considered, and if he is, he should take the job.
No one is denying that he should be considered.
Hey. Could you let Dom, I sat here quietly and let you say what you have to say. Could you let me
speak? Go ahead, sir.
Thank you. I do not wish for any interruptions.
I digress.
Good. He should be considered one, and if he is considered, he should take the job. there's no right time or no perfect time to say, coming from Rangers is not the right. Listen, you need to get your feet wet. You need to have a baptism of fire sometimes and then learn on the job. That's how it is. That's just honestly how it is. If things continue the way they are going for Liverpool, then yes, they should consider him and Gerrard should take it. Listen, the man's profile at Rangers so far, right? Took over in 2018. December 2018, first Old Firm derby. Beat Celtic 1-0 at home. First home Old Firm derby. Beat Celtic.
The away fixture he lost.
Huh? Yeah, he lost the away. He lost the away
fixture. I got you fact check, bro.
Right. It was the first Old Firm derby that Celtic had, Old Firm win that Rangers had over Celtic since 2012. And also in his first season, Morelos finished the top scorer in the league, and that was the first top scorer that Rangers had. Even though they came second in the league, it was the first time they had a top scorer in the league since the year they won the league, 2010-11.
Yes.
Since he took over, he led them back-to-back finishes, runners-up finish positions in the league, and before ultimately winning the league this season, right? And those were the highest finishes since the whole administration thing. Like even before him, Graham Murty, who was manager before him, I think it was a third was his highest because Aberdeen is who was consistently finishing second, right? Right. So in Europe, the season before he took over, they got eliminated from the first qualifying round of Europa by a Luxembourg team that I couldn't even be bothered to remember how to pronounce their name. It was the first time that team had ever gotten past the first qualifying round of any European competition, right? This team didn't win a league or nothing, so the last competition they win was a cup in Luxembourg back in '82. They beat Rangers the year before Gerrard came in. The next year, Gerrard got Rangers past the qualifying into the group stage. They crashed out in the group stage, and then the year after that, as in last season, got them to the round of 16, and they lost to the Tottenham of Germany by Leverkusen. Right? Now this season they're in the round of 16 again. As you said, Dom, they're playing Slavia Prague, but this based on how they have been doing, they have a very good chance of going through. And y'all said it already. I was just outlining. The fact of the matter is, the man has been making progressions with this club. Now, it's not even that we could overlook it and say, well, oh, it's the Rangers. The fact is, this club really started from the bottom, and now they're here. The man brought them back to where they're supposed to be. The club is getting better, and this is not even a disrespect to Klopp, Brett. Just the way things are going right now, there comes a time when you need to dissolve your relationship and try something new. And I feel like if Liverpool can hold on, just hold on, you can get a chance to reply. If what we're seeing now continues until the end of the season, Liverpool needs to look at making a change. And yes, they should consider Gerrard. I don't care. Dom, you want to mention Lampard, but you were the one that was telling me behind the scenes that Lampard get fired because he had a falling out in the dressing room, but basically with someone in management. Right. So it wasn't only about the results, right? Correct, so I do not wish to hear you bringing that as an excuse as to why Gerrard shouldn't take this job. You can mention whoever you want. The fact of the matter is, Gerrard is advancing himself as a manager. If this opportunity comes now, take it. It don't come around just like that. So suppose he misses the opportunity and they go with Nagelsmann, and Nagelsmann lead Liverpool to another Champions League or something. So another 5-6 years. So he's supposed to wait again? Nah, take the job when it comes to you. And they should study it this summer.
Marley, so with all of that there to unpack, Ajay's point of view saying that he should take the job, me and Breadman coming from a perspective that, he should give it a bit of time and gain some more experience. What do you feel towards that? And what do you rate Gerrard's season with Rangers?
Firstly, I gotta give him. I forced to give him a time, to be honest, because I don't think there was anybody that would have told you when Steven Gerrard took that job that they would have expected this. You know what I mean? So to be fair to him, he's done extremely well.
Thanks for agreeing with me the way you. I appreciate that.
Sorry?
Go ahead, sir.
Well, yeah, I don't think that there's anybody that would have told you, yeah, Steven Gerrard going to try to lead into a this season. He can gradually get better year by year and play some extremely good football. So kudos to him. He's been doing well. So I think persons gotta ignore the inkling to be pessimistic. I say, oh well, it's Scotland and it's this. Nah, the fact of the matter is the man is gone in. He's transformed that side and he's doing extremely well. So 10 out of 10 for him in that regard. In terms of taking the Liverpool job, why not? You know what I mean? Why not? Just for me is like if you have to know within yourself whether you think you're ready or not. And the fact of the matter is that this is the very same way that Lampard was afforded luxuries that persons who were not quote unquote club legends would not have received. Steven Gerrard will get the same thing. And I know you don't think that a lot of persons come out and say, oh, Lampard sacking was harsh and this and the third. No, it was not. Because had Lampard been somebody else, he would have been out of that Chelsea door before he was out of that Chelsea door. And we know that. So at the end of the day, for me, Steven Gerrard has to know within himself whether, look, you know what? I've done everything I think I can do at Rangers. I've had an amazing couple of seasons. And I think it's time for me to move on. This opportunity ain't going to come around. Well, more than it would come around twice, but like how long? How long you prepared to wait? So at the end of the day, you gotta know within yourself, am I prepared for it? Am I ready for it? Am I comfortable enough taking it? And if you are, take the job and get your best shot. That's my opinion.
I can give Breadman time to respond here. I know he's itching here to say something. Breadman, you could say something. You could go against these guys.
Well, I ain't itching, you know. And the 8.5 that I gave him, that was the overall rating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's fair. You can't take away what he did this season. I think Dom, you and I would have had a conversation this week. And I think Rangers have the best defensive record, I think, in European football at the moment, in terms of league football.
Yes.
But I would agree with Ajay and Marley in respect of him taking the job. Me saying that he shouldn't take it, that's just
fine.
Me being a big Gerrard fan.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want him to come and don't succeed. That's
always that element.
Yeah, always and that's what I was saying. Like, I be for him to gain some more experience first, but I ain't there's a business. When you're looking to go up, you don't tell yourself, well, I'm gonna wait and then wait until the opportunity comes, because as AJ said, the opportunity may never come. So, and AJ was making a point about Klopp. It's no disrespect to Klopp. As I would have said before, if Klopp was any other manager, or Klopp is lucky in this current manager climate to still have a job. No manager at no big club loses 6 games in a row at home and keeps the job.
Yeah.
If you check the Chelsea's of recent years, after a few games in manager, the team again results gone. United did it a couple of times. Arsenal did it. Some of the bigger clubs in Europe have done it. So Klopp is lucky. So if he had to lose his job in the summer based on the form that we are seeing right now, I mean, you can blame the club. But to say that I want Gerrard now, if Gerrard came, I'll be happy. I'll be honest. But it's just that I don't want him right now.
Right, because you don't want a situation where, you know, there's some sort of bad blood that boils between management and Gerrard, and then he's ultimately fired or made an example of, and that ruins the relationship some fans have with Gerrard, in the sense that when you hire a manager like Gerrard or like Lampard, and he doesn't do well, he comes in for criticism, not only from media, but from the fans as well. And it's difficult, considering the status you have at the club, for a fan to come and just throw you under the bus immediately. So I understand where the guys are going with their position, but I maintain that Gerrard should look at other opportunities and still try to, you know, gain some experience outside of the Premier League. I know many English managers haven't done it, but there's been some like Steve McLaren, a few others that have tried outside of the Premier League.
this is an on the job experience type of career.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, you have to take it. That's the way. Yeah, you have to take it. It's not necessarily like I said, it's a baptism of fire. Boy, take this job when it comes to you, boy. Do not lag. Oh, wait, what? It don't work like that. This is like learning to drive. You could get your license, but you learn to drive when you're on the road. The man needs to take this Liverpool job, and then he will learn how to be Liverpool.
I mean,
I guess you said to Marley.
Examples like Arteta in the league and so on as well. Like at the end of the day, Arteta ain't got no wealth of experience. No, he was Arteta was Pep number 2 for.
And Arteta is in a position where he could potentially be fired at end of the season. They could just say, "Wash my hands with you, Arteta."
Any manager is always in a position where you're working for somebody at the end of the day. You're always in a position where somebody could say, "What, you know what? Your services are no longer required." But I said Arteta to say that he's somebody that has been afforded the luxury of a lot of leeway. He's been afforded that.
But that could be down to the culture of the club.
But I have no doubt. So don't you have any doubt that if Steven Gerrard goes to Liverpool today, Steven or Klopp decides to leave, Klopp goes and stops your Gilo from picking his nose in the public eye, and he can go and take up the German job. Yeah, Klopp goes to Liverpool. Goes to Germany. Steven Gerrard goes to Liverpool. You have any doubt in your mind that if things are going a bit awry, for even 4 or 5 weeks, that Steven Gerrard would not be afforded certain leeways and certain opportunities that other managers would not?
I think at this stage it would be inconclusive for me to say. It is inconclusive.
No, don't you being fanciful. Steven Gerrard will be given every single opportunity
necessary. Every single opportunity.
Always trying to be
hold on. So due to the nature of Chelsea Football Club, and we spoke in lengths, I heard you, Marley, say Lampard deserved to be fired. You said that. But there were extenuating factors that caused Lampard to be fired. It wasn't a case of results. It was a falling out with someone in the hierarchy. So who's to say Gerrard lands at the club, the directives or the objectives they have in place are not in line with what Gerrard can bring to the table at that present time? I'm just saying, be cautious. Do not go running for the big job that presents itself to you. If you feel you're ready, by all means, go for it. But at the end of the day, I assure you he will be cautious with the next opportunity.
I don't know, but assure you, I don't know.
I feel he will. I feel he will.
YOLO.
There was a question in the media. There was a question in the media about that job, and Gerrard kind of separated himself from the media.
But to be fair, this was like a year ago, though. This was like a year ago. To be fair, this was like a year ago. Liverpool were on the verge of clinching the title. So obviously, people coming and asking him that is like, well, why would you even be asking me that? No, like at this point in time, it doesn't make sense. I would like someone to ask him, and not someone in the media. I want someone in his family to leak it, like ask him behind the scenes and then leak that information. Let me hear what you can say now. You feel he can turn that down? Boy, take this job, Stevie G. This job is for you, Stevie G.
Okay, wait. I sent this message to Steven Gerrard. Sir, you've won in Scotland. You've done fantastically well. As I said, it's a 10, but don't go running for that scouting job. Don't go running for that scouting job. And there's a lot of pressure.
CVG, YOLO.
You only live once. You feel so, nah? All right.
Are you reincarnated? You trying to tell me, sir? I don't understand what you mean.
All right. Welcome to the box score.
Dan, this man has been at the club for 18 months and nobody can tell me what style of football he playing.
There's Harry Kane. Harry Kane drops down today. Tottenham is Sheffield United.
Guys, Rohan doesn't understand the concept of winning trophies. You gotta excuse the guy.
Yeah. Apologies.
But if Harry
Apologize
Kane...
for what? Apologize for what?
Yeah, so moving on from Steven Gerrard's situation, even though you guys have a different understanding of what could potentially happen. I still didn't agree with you guys. Atletico Madrid have taken 9 points from a possible 18 in the league and a home defeat to Chelsea in Europe. Are they starting to drop off? And I know I did mention to Marley, all it takes is a couple injuries. Last time we had this conversation. Can someone else win the league at this stage? And we can leave with you, Marley.
Definitely, I would love somebody else to win the league at this stage. Definitely Real Madrid. Yeah, I mean, Atleti were absolutely flying beginning of the season for goodwill, to be honest. Credit to Simeone, he got it right in a lot of regards. He has kind of reverted to type in recent weeks. I guess we'll have his die hard. He's still with the more defensive stuff, even though his side has shown the propensity to want to cut loose and be a bit more attacking, and they were reaping the rewards for it. But all that being said, yeah, for sure somebody else could win the league. Barca and Madrid have managed to rule them in. I think I'm 5 points off them at the moment. Barcelona 3 points off of them at the moment. They do have a game in hand though. I'm pretty sure they have a game in hand. So they're still a good side, to be honest. You got these amount of games left with potentially a 6-point cushion on your nearest rival. Come on, you gotta be able to back yourself to pull this home. At the end of the day, you ain't Granada at the top of the table at this point. You ain't Osasuna at the top of the table at this point. Atletico Madrid with some pretty good players in your side. So 6 points, a potential 6-point cushion on your nearest rival going into these run of games. You go about yourself to do it. But on the flip side, in my opinion, Barcelona, they are there about. Madrid, they are there about, with the type of players that both those sides have. If everybody stays fit and the running going down to the end of the season, it could be a very, very, very tight race, to be honest.
So you have them to win it or someone else to race?
I just played them. They got a draw with me. I think they have Barcelona to play again. They have Barcelona to play again, I'm pretty sure. And a couple more tough games as well. I think Madrid's running is not the worst, which is good news for me. Barcelona, it's always one Messi injury away from absolute catastrophe. So, but they're doing well as well. To be very, yeah, I just had to stick that in there. Eat your heart out, juice.
Clearly.
But yeah, they've been doing well as of late too. So I don't want to discredit them either. A lot of persons were on the Koeman bandwagon. They didn't even give Koeman a chance. So, but they seem to be playing. And I mentioned this a couple of weeks back. They seem to be playing for him and rallying around him. So they're doing pretty well at the moment too. I'd say all that to say, will they win it?
Feel like Jeopardy here.
I think they'll hold on. I think they'll hold on.
You think they'll hold on? AJ?
Yes, they definitely are going to hold on for me. I think they can't keep it up. Honestly, right? I feel like today was a pivotal game, you know. Today should have been a turning point for me. I'm looking at today's game, and for me, it is not just in terms of cutting down the points, but also like getting a psychological edge on them. And mind you, Real Madrid did finish the game the better team, and I think that the result was deserved. But a draw ain't really doing Real Madrid any good at this point.
Definitely no.
Yeah, I think today was a day that Real Madrid had to like push them off just throw them off a little bit by winning, and they couldn't. So I think Atletico could look at this and bounce back. They, like Marley said, they still have the game in hand, and their run-in is actually. So they actually, if I remember correctly, they're actually playing the 3 bottom teams. In Huesca's, is it Alaves? But they have like they have like
Eibar and Elche.
Yeah, they have like the relegation threatened teams, but at the same time, they have Betis, Sociedad, Sevilla, and then Barca is in week 35. Honestly, I still feel like these games are winnable for them. The fact that they were able to see out today. Yes, they didn't win, but at the same time, they didn't lose. So to me, they could still bounce back from this. Like I said, psychologically, I think that their games are still winnable. Like with the game in hand and the fixtures they have, especially Barcelona is the one game for them that I would be concerned about, especially given their defensive record. And by that time, they could be honing in on the title. So I believe that they will hold out and yeah, they'll see it through, honestly.
Breadman, your thoughts?
Dom, you know that I would prefer Real Madrid to win the title. But,
Good man. Good man.
But to be looking at the table right now with Atletico being 2 points ahead of Barca, it's anybody's football to win at the moment.
Hardly agree.
Atletico, their run isn't too bad. The Barca game could be pivotal at the end of the season, but if they win the games and pick up the 3 points in the games before that game, might just be irrelevant. In recent seasons, Atletico have started the season reasonably well, but Simeone always seems to find a way to drop points. Atletico do defend well, but Atletico are also fluent going forward. They have Suarez. They added Suarez to their repertoire this season. At his age, he's still a lethal scorer. Felix, despite his dip in form, he started the season well. He had COVID. He came back. He's been worked back into the team. But I think Atletico has a lot to offer. And if they keep grounded, they will definitely win the title. But it's not over because Messi and Barcelona are breathing down their neck. And injuries will play a part. I think injuries have affected Real Madrid significantly. But a lot of football is still left to play. And everyone's saying Atletico have a game in hand, but you have to win your game in hand.
Correct. So I can just piggyback on you though, Breadman, because there was a stage where Atletico had a 10-point lead on Barcelona and other competitors trailing them, right? And now that has been reduced to 3 points. Now, history would suggest to me that Simeone, this is the 10th year he's been manager, and he's won one league title, to be quite honest. Barcelona knows how to win. Real Madrid knows how to win leagues. I feel as though, hold on, AJ. Barcelona
because you got me real good here with a point. I need to jump in after you.
Hold on.
Ahead,
Barcelona has the momentum, which is very critical at this stage of the season. And Simeone's team seems to be dropping off a bit. The points are drying up, hence why the distance between first and second is now marginal in comparison. And I feel so I feel as though with momentum, Barcelona could pick them at the line. If the bookies right now have Barcelona at 45% and Atletico Madrid at 40%. It seems as though the bookies don't even have enough confidence in Simeone's men to maintain that charge. So, when I'm looking at that, yes, Suarez has been pivotal personnel to add to the team. He's leading goal scorer at the club, and he's added a lot of verve going forward. But Barcelona, Real Madrid, they can pick back up. And as Brett said, there's still a lot of games to go in the season.
You know what throwing me off about what you just said? You can look at these fine gentlemen, all of us sitting down here discussing seriously, and you can look at me and say that Simeone win one league title in all this time. Dom, how many league titles has Ronald Koeman won in his entire career as a manager? You want to Google it right now?
Hold on. That was rhetorical. That was predicated. A lot of that was predicated on the Barcelona players' success.
That was rhetorical. I don't need to hear your answer. That was rhetorical. The answer is one. He has won one league title with PSV Eindhoven. This man doesn't know how to win anything, brother. You telling me about? So if you want to call out managers for actually winning one in 10 years in a league where the other teams are better, don't tell me don't just omit for the sake of your argument, omit the fact that Ronald Koeman cannot win anything?
Okay, let me just add an additional point as well. There's still European football to be played, right?
Don Koeman can't win.
I do not believe Barcelona will win the Champions League. I actually think they'll be out in this round. However, that will open up time to focus solely on the league fixtures.
You're saying so, and I believe Atletico are going to get knocked out of the Champions League. I believe they're going to get knocked out of the Champions League. So if you could put in, if you could put in that stipulation, I believe so too. So then we have the two managers, one who won with PSV and one who won
in 2013
title with this same team, with this team though in this league, and the other one who the only thing he won is the league
still
title.
Different personnel.
This man cannot win. This man cannot win. This man doesn't know how to win anything. So don't bring managers into it and then omit his poor background as a manager. Ronald Koeman is not good. Ronald Koeman is not good. Messi ain't even studying this club right now. Messi just in his own world trying to decide. The club is in shambles. I get what you're trying to say, right? I get what, but there's so much going on at Barcelona that Ronald Koeman is not the man. Ronald Koeman is not the man to be able to filter out the outside noise and guide this team to a league. I cannot see that happening. Real Madrid would come and pass Barcelona in this table before Koeman wins this league.
I think the momentum is in his favor. And like I said, it's still an open race. Barcelona, Real Madrid, still there.
Swing? Oh, momentum.
Momentum.
Listen, I will,
this same Atletico Madrid, baby. This same Atletico Madrid was leading by about 10 points and had 2 league fixtures in hand. What has happened? What has happened?
That is still leading the league. That's what happened. They're still leading the league
by 3.
They're still leading. Leading. The operative word is leading.
And that is every week that has been
Barcelona by 12 or 15 points.
Exactly.
That was the stage of the season. People were saying, oh, Barcelona is in complete turmoil. They were 14th place. They were in 14th place. Look at them today.
And they're in second.
There's like this Atletico side was never ever going to beat Real Madrid and Barcelona to this title by 12 or 15 points. It wasn't going to happen. But Barcelona and Real Madrid, like we, in terms of our squads, we know we don't know we at the pinnacle. We at the peak of it. So we know that at the end of the day, we would have shaved those two sides would have shaved some of those points back off of Athletic. But it was all about whether Athletic could consolidate that start and hold out until the end. Up until this point, I would love if them just go to shambles and Barcelona just be Barcelona at some point and I able to pick them like at the line like I did last year and have a strong one with Ramos and everybody else coming back because I don't know. I probably eat some of the same cake that the Liverpool people eat and we just had pure injuries throughout the whole year. I would love if that was happening. We picked. I have a strong finish. We picked them at the line. But at this point, my gut just telling me that if they do win that game in hand, yeah, they got some tough games coming up as well. But we know how hungry Simeone is, and if they do win that game in hand, and Simeone gets to under 10 games, with
Simeone was hungry from 2013 too.
Yeah, but don't you playing in the league? Don't you playing in the league with Madrid and Barca?
In the last 9 games, right? In the last 9 games, Barcelona have 8 league victories and 1 draw.
Okay, Don, but if we are being honest, right? Atletico were on a good run. They lost Trippier, who was a key player for them.
Yes.
He's no back. Felix had COVID.
Yes.
He was a key player for them at the start of the season. He's now finding himself back into the side. So if you're going to talk about Barca winning 8 out of 9, and they're going to overtake Atletico, you're talking about this 10-point lead. They are still leading. They still have the game in hand. They can win that game in hand, and they can continue to win games.
Yeah.
But the key word, they are still on the top of the table. Yeah. They have key players coming back. It is not over. You can't count them out. You can't count them out.
But that's my point. That's my point. My whole point is predicated on this is going to be a tight race. But I do believe with Simeone's pragmatism that he's employed over the course of the season, it's shown to be somewhat his undoing. He's fielded some top quality teams, and they've came out and defended astutely. However, they've not attacked particularly well, and they've brought on a lot of unnecessary pressure. And in bringing on that pressure, they've conceded in the last couple of games, and it has put them in the back straight in terms of getting the result. I feel as though that is a team to watch coming on to the end of the season with the last 13 games to go.
I need to amend something because I was a bit unfair, right? Coleman did win a couple league titles with Ajax as well, so he has 3 in total. I didn't want to acknowledge that. I actually completely forgot that. I didn't want to acknowledge it. Yeah, I'm owning up to it. I didn't want to admit it because I love Ajax too much and Coleman is garbage. Dom.
Yeah.
Dom. No, don't relax yourself. Relax yourself. This is a man who has, since his Ajax spell, where he spent 4 years, has never been at a club for more than 3 after that.
Doesn't matter.
And there's always leave in shambles and don't win nothing. He don't win nothing. Doesn't win anything.
At this point,
that he's supposed to be doing.
He will be there at the end of the season because they've had their elections. They've chosen Juan Laporta to be the head. So he may go in a different direction. But for Ronald Koeman's resume, Koeman's resume, this would look absolutely great to see that he won a league in La Liga.
All right. Like I said, I will wait to be proven wrong. If Koeman wins the league, then I'll admit that I was wrong.
And you will come on the show and you will come and salute me like the great man that I am.
I would never do that.
Yeah.
I would never do that.
We can move on. We can move on from Atletico Madrid. So going into the next decade, as you guys see the fading careers of Messi and Ronaldo, even though they're still playing really well in patches, we've had Erling Haaland rise to the fore and Kylian Mbappe as well. You know, two of the hottest properties in world football today. I want to hear from you guys. What do you think the mantle has been passed? Do you think that these guys have taken it from Messi and Ronaldo? How good will it be for them at this stage? And if there's anyone to challenge them in terms of a third person to the crown of Messi and Ronaldo or Erling Haaland, Kylian Mbappe, somebody else? AJ, what do you think?
Yes. You know what? There's always a generation, and in each generation of football, there are always names who will come and emerge as the best of this generation. And you know, some people in that generation can say yes, the best of all time and all kind of thing. But so yes, moving on from Messi and CR, and right now, and I agree, it looks like Haaland and Mbappe. If there's someone else to challenge, yeah. And you see, it's ironic that I had to end the last segment bashing Barcelona, but my choice right now is a Barcelona player. If Ronald Koeman doesn't kill him, with bench.
Wow, nice. You heard it here first.
Yeah, no, because yeah, the manager has a part to play in it, but I think he could overcome the ineptitude of this manager though. Anyways, I'm obviously speaking about Ansu Fati. You know, all of us know a bunch of Barcelona men, right? I have a Barcelona brethren who around 2019 is when he started to get integrated into the team more so. I think when he signed his first contract or whatever. Around that time, I had a Barcelona brethren who was raving about Fati and telling me, yeah, check him out and thing, like he's a future and all. I was like, all right, cool. I actually started to watch a little bit so I could see him. And I am actually impressed. I'm impressed by the guy. And when I judge players, especially young players as well, I judge on IQ. So I don't really care how many men you could dribble and all that kind. Like that matters not to me. I look at IQ. So yeah, so stuff like the movement, decision making, just the understanding of situations and being able to adapt at the spur of the moment, that kind of thing. And for his age, I think he has all of that. I won't say down pat as yet, but I think he's a very intelligent player for his age. Still a teenager, and that is like the mark of world-class potential for me. So he's injured now, but prior to injury, he already established himself as a key member of Barcelona's starting 11. And just based on the stuff I said, like his game isn't predicated only on goals, So that's why I would definitely say him. Like he just has a very good awareness and understanding of the game. So I think that being said, yeah, I would definitely put him on the trajectory to be up there with Haaland and of course Mbappe.
That's fair. That's fair, Breadman. Anything to add?
Like Ronaldo and Messi, there was never a third player that was on the level of those two. And at the moment, Mbappe and Haaland, who are, I would say, they are leaps and bounds up above the others. Fati comes in he's a very close third. That he will be at that level in the future. It's hard to judge young players. Before his injury, though, I would say he was very impressive. And as Ajay would have alluded to, his IQ, like I don't judge players on a lot of goals. Like when Vinicius Jr. was first introduced onto the scene, it was a lot of hype. The hype has died down considerably.
Just be careful there, bro. Just be careful.
He's no good, man. He's no good. He can battle it up. He is no good.
Continue, Brad. Continue.
The hype has died down. I think we give a lot of players a lot of credit very early before they have actually proven themselves. But in Fati's short stint in senior football, he looks the part. And to be fair, I don't see anyone, the Sanchos, the Fodens, the Davies of Bern, I don't see them at the same level that he's at this current moment. I mean, some of these players, they do have potential, but will we see that potential in the future? Who knows? But for me, Fati is the only one that is just under those two at this present moment.
Whoa.
Felix is still young. He showed a lot of potential when he was younger. He's still showing potential now, but he needs to hone in on that potential and hit the ground running in senior football for Atletico and for Portugal.
Breadman has made some very strong points in terms of there's not been a third guy. But I do disagree that Fati is the next in line to the names mentioned because he's had a long-term injury. We presently don't know how he comes back from that. And the injuries, are particularly very funny, especially with players of his talent level. And we don't know if he may come back the same level of player as well. So I am inclined to go with a different name here. I would be doing myself a disservice if I didn't say Lautaro Martinez from Inter Milan, the young Argentinian prodigy, 23 years old. But the reason why I've gone with Lautaro Martinez is that I've seen considerable progression over the last 3 years. And he first came to Europe in 2018. And each season, you can look at his numbers statistically and say, well, he's done well. His IQ has grown in the sense that he's understanding the game and what is required of him. And he has multiple facets to his game. He's tenacious and he's caused a lot of liking to Sergio Aguero and Carlos Tevez. So you know what type of player he is. Low center of gravity, has the ability to go past a man, has a bit of trickery as well. But he's shown in front of goal that he's someone to look at. And I feel in regards to Lautaro Martinez, he's been there to go to that next level. Presently this season, he's on 13 goals. In the league itself, last season, he finished with 14. So he's on course now to pass that and finish with almost 20 goals this season. So looking at that progression, I feel as though Lautaro Martinez, and he's been capped at the national level, he already has double figures for Argentina. You have to look at this young chap and say, well, yeah, this guy is on the precipice of going to that next level. So, like Breadman said, in terms of footballing IQ is very critical. I feel as though he's shown that. He just needs to gain a bit more consistency in his play, and then he would be a striker for the future. You know, Marley, you could take it from here. I think my presentation has been phenomenal.
Yeah, I'm surprised that you feel into player. That don't surprise me.
None of us are. None of us are. None of us are.
I actually gonna go Joao though. I actually gonna go Joao Felix. I think that sometimes we have some players that I don't want to say overlook because I think everybody here, but no, I know everybody here could recognize Joao if he lives up to potential could be a very special player. But I just want to go back to like probably when Ronaldo was his age as well. I don't know if anybody can remember, but you remember when Ronaldo was his age. People actually thought Quaresma was better than Ronaldo. Quaresma was supposed to be better than Ronaldo.
That's a fact. That was a fact.
Ricardo
So
Quaresma.
even when Breadman has said so, right? Sorry, not to cut, but let me just say.
You bet.
When Breadman said so, Ronaldo is actually the third man, you know. No, because I just saying, if you remember, back in those days, you all should remember this as well. It was Messi and Robinho, you know. So Ronaldo is actually the third man that came out of that generation and excelled beyond Robinho. Anyway, go ahead.
And let me just add a bit to what you're saying, right? Gabriel Jesus was to be that man as well. He had a lot of height coming out of Brazil.
Yeah, he did.
And not Gabigol?
No, Jesus was miles above him in terms of height but you know how the Brazilians are anyways.
Yeah, be careful, Dons. Be careful. But yeah, Felix for sure. I mean, like Quaresma was supposed to be the next big thing, and people was almost overlooking Ronaldo. But then Ronaldo just gradually worked on himself, and it has a lot to do with mentality as well. I remember, I think it was Ryan Giggs even telling a story of when Ronaldo first came to the club. And I think somebody asked Ronaldo a question and what his ambitions are, what he's looking to do. And Ronaldo came and was like, I'm going to be the best player in the world.
Confidence.
And I think Giggs said everybody, because you got to remember Manchester United at that point under Fergie, the type of players that in that dressing room. You got Giggs, you got Keane,
winners.
big boys.
You got winners.
Yeah, you got big boys in there. So for this little chat from Portugal to land and teeth smoke go on braces and thing and just be like, yeah, you're gonna be the best player in the world. Man, like know your place. But yeah, a lot of it comes down to mentality as well. And I think Felix is a tad bit timid still. I think he got to get out of himself a little bit more. But he has the potential. We see how explosive he was at the beginning of this season. And I think I don't just want to put it on Simeone as well, because you're tempted to say if he gets in a more attacking system, he can automatically reap the rewards. I don't want to go with that kind of reaction to it. But I think if he can force himself to adapt a bit more and be a bit more rugged and force his way into that team permanently, I think Felix definitely has the potential to be that kind of explosive, serious player in the future.
No, to be honest with you, Marley, I absolutely agree with the talent level of Joao Felix. I feel as though he is a special player. I feel like he has a ceiling that is extremely high. He can go places, but I feel as though the pragmatism of Simeone has limited him in the style of play they present. And,
it has to a certain extent, yeah.
And I feel as though he's a player that would thrive in a free-flowing, expansive style of football. That philosophy is presently holding him back. And if Simeone is set to sign a new contract, he hasn't changed his philosophy much over the years. And I mean, bar the beginning of the season, they play a little more free. But I feel as though Felix would need to leave for him to realize his full potential. And I just don't see that happening at this point.
He went to the wrong side of Madrid.
Yeah, he did. And that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. I don't feel as though Joao Felix will own up to his potential if he stays at Atletico Madrid under Simeone.
I think the problem with Simeone, he sticks to what is natural for him. And it's unfortunate because the team did look very fluent at the beginning of the season. And then it was just this change. And he's been doing it season after season after season. And I don't know when he will get it right. I don't think he knows how to get the best out of his players.
You can see that Simeone is defensively astute. Like
Very.
You know, for his Italy days, you know, we've had a great focal point on defensive fortitude and that has remained in his mindset for a long time. So he's applied it at the Atletico Madrid job. However, I mean, I feel as though he's been in the job long enough
Too long.
do something more expansive with the attacking style of that club. And I haven't seen it. I mean, he brought in Suarez. We know Suarez is a goal scorer. That, for me, has been the difference maker for Atletico Madrid this season.
And there's a big difference because Suarez is a fighter.
Yeah.
Suarez is way more aggressive than anyone in the Atletico team. Suarez will fight. He will fight to score. He will fight to win. And you cannot take that away from him. And that's why we're surprised that Barcelona let him go.
Yeah, they made a poor decision in that regard, but they were going through turmoil. So I guess it's understandable from that standpoint, right? But
yeah, they're accustomed to making poor decisions like that.
But I mean, man, I saw Korea start and Joao Felix on the bench, and there was a game he came on, he scored, and he was literally looking at the dugout and pointing, showing that, yes, I need to play in this team. I should be the focal point. I should be going forward as the face of this club. And he's right in doing that. He's right in doing that. But we will transition quickly to I think that was a good discussion, guys. We could transition into a do question. So right now, Antonio Cassano had a lot to say. He stated that Juventus signed Cristiano Ronaldo to win the Champions League, but they've done worse with him than they've done before. They also won Serie A title without him. I think he's been a failure. No, I want to get deep into this, but I can let Breadman start this question. Right? We can start with Breadman here, right?
No, to say that Ronaldo has been a failure is a slap in the face to the player. Because, yes, you bring in players to win. You bring winners to win. But the player does not make the decision of how the team plays. That's the manager's job. And if you check, when Ronaldo came, Allegri was the manager. What has Allegri won in Europe?
Nothing.
He has 6 titles in Italy, but he's never got over the finish line in Europe to win the Champions League. Then comes Sarri. What has Sarri won? A Europa League?
Pretty much.
Not to discredit the title that he actually won, but Sarri has won nothing. You now have Pirlo, very great player, but he has no resume. His resume is blank.
Yeah. So
to say that Ronaldo has been a failure at Juventus, I think that's an insult, and Cassano needs to take those words and just throw them away because it's total disrespect to the player. Ronaldo has scored goals from the time he went to Juventus, and he's still scoring goals. He's scored very important goals, League and Champions League. So for you to tell me that he has failed, we are probably watching different football because I don't see the failure. As he has aged, he's still showing that he is, if not the best, one of the best players in the world at this present moment. And that's my piece on it.
Yeah, so in piggybacking on what you said, I am certain that when Ronaldo signed for the club, he understood that the importance of bringing a inaugural Champions League title to the club is necessary. They went to 2 finals under Allegri, but failed at that last hurdle. So Allegri, he came with Allegri as manager. He was supposed to be the final piece of that puzzle. And that season, they were down to love to Atletico Madrid. And the second leg, he scored a hat trick to take them to the next level, which would have been the quarterfinal phase, which they eventually got knocked out by Ajax. And Ronaldo scored the 2 goals that Juventus had in that fixture. No one else contributed. So Ronaldo has done his part to lift this Juventus team, but not enough hands have shown up at that point to aid him in the progression of Juventus winning a Champions League. And that is not Ronaldo's fault. He came, he did his job, and he left. That's as simple as you can put it, right? And you're hiring managers, like you say, that are utterly inexperienced. How you could do that at this stage and then want to come and blame a man because he's doing his job perfectly. There's nothing that Ronaldo has not done. You could say, oh, he hasn't scored enough Champions League goals, but he scored big goals. This is the Champions League winner. You haven't won the Coppa Italia since he's been at the club. Okay, fair enough. But that's not his fault. You've still maintained league victories. So, I mean, for Cassano to come out like this here, like you said, Breadman, I really feel it is not only a slap in the face of Cristiano Ronaldo. I feel like somebody should slap Cassano in his face. Disrespectful, man. Disrespectful. And he's a player that I liked. AJ, you want to chime in here?
Yeah, y'all went real easy on Cassano. Cassano sounds like a blithering idiot. That's a fact of the matter. Like, this man thinks that this is tennis or golf, that Ronaldo alone is supposed to change the fortunes of Juventus. Honestly, right, in addition to that, it makes no sense to me when people make these claims about competitions that are in progress. Cassano didn't realize that the Champions League still going on.
Yeah.
It sounds a bit harsh or dumb, rather, to suggest that Ronaldo has been a failure. If he was saying that the project so far has been a failure, all right, cool. And Dom, you kind of just touch on it, but I let me piggyback and add on a bit more. Does anyone realize that Chiesa's goal against Porto in this knockout round was the first knockout goal in the Champions League scored by a Juventus player other than Ronaldo since he joined the team? So Dom, you spoke about that year, right? Last year, when they got knocked out by Lyon, Ronaldo is who scored both of the goals in all aggregate when they got knocked out on away goals. So nobody else scored away goals but Ronaldo. And this man saying that Ronaldo is who failed. Look, Cassano needs to do some research and stop yapping his beak and stop talking so much. This man is making no sense. And this is not the first time he said something out of pocket and egregious like this. I mean, in addition to that, we could talk about the fact that Ronaldo has been in and amongst the highest goal scorers in Serie A. Like, I don't understand the thought process of Cassano to make a comment like this. It doesn't make any sense. Like Breadman spoke, he already mentioned like the managers that they've been through, and that kind of like, it's not any managers with any big cachet. They're not that won any. So how is it that Ronaldo is a failure when you have an entire project that you're supposed to that he's supposed to be a part of that is not working? Man, Cassano, shut up.
Marley, any closing words?
fully agreed. Like, fam, like, just be quiet, beef. Like, you're talking about, like, you're talking about a player that just clutch. Like you look in dictionary for your definition of clutch, you can see Cristiano Ronaldo, fam. Like, come on, like, yeah. I remember like before too, when Inter was putting all kind of pressure on Juventus, it was looking like, yo, like Conte might actually get it done. Inter's really running down these men. Ronaldo come up with this purple patch of form that it was just like goal after goal after goal. And yeah, because if you're looking at it, there's a man that was clutch in Serie A last year. Not even mentioning the European exploits that the man. Come on, this Cristiano Ronaldo that we're talking about, fam. Like, I feel like if you want to have a brain freeze, like do it in private, you know, like eat a tub, like shove a tub of ice cream in your mouth at one point, couple, like do something, like have you brain freeze in private. When boys can't hear you, but don't come out and like try to discredit what a man like Cristiano Ronaldo is doing and has done for this side. Like, come on, like unless you are Real Madrid. For that 3-year stretch, you don't just come out and win the Champions League back to back like that. You don't just, nobody's just up and win the Champions League like that. It's a tough competition to win. You got top teams all over Europe. At the end of the day, we know he was bought to quote unquote win the Champions League for you, but it's not been easy. Everything happening around him has not been perfect either. So cut the man some slack, man. He's been nothing short of brilliant since he was there.
Totally agree. I think on this subject matter, everyone has agreed. No one has really come in support of Antonio Cassano, even though he's a former Real Madrid player that didn't do well, right? You know, every player goes,
poor, you're poor, fam, you're poor.
Every Madrid player don't do well, right? You know.
Tell about that.
I was a shots fired. Shots fired.
Look. I want to thank everybody for chiming in, and we've had a wonderful show here. Thanks to the addition of Breadman, Lamar Clark. Sorry for calling out your whole government, but it's weird. Armand Williams and Marley Leacock. Thank everybody. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and we shall be back on the next episode of The Box Score. Thank you.